What's up, guys? Today we are going to be talking about the new horror film, Weapons. Right now, this film is doing great at the box office, and I just gotta say, I am really happy about that, because with this and the success of Sinners, horror is doing so good right now. Another reason I'm glad this film is doing really well is it's directed by Zach Kreger, who, if you don't know him, he directed Barbarian, which is a great horror film. And personally, I think it's really fun comparing Weapons and Barbarian because they're two horror movies, yes, but they're both tonally very different. Weapons, I would say, is more comedic, while Barbarian takes itself a bit more seriously, but it still has some jokes. Anyway, let's just dive right into the review of Weapons. So before I begin, I feel like I have to say I made the mistake of setting my expectations a bit too high, because at the end of the day, I don't think they could have reached my expectations at all with this film. And the funny part is, I didn't really watch a lot of the trailers for Weapons, unless they played before a movie I was going to watch. Like Fantastic Four, what was that? Seriously, I don't know if this happened to you guys, but before Fantastic Four, the trailer for Weapons played, and a lot of little kids in the theater did not like that. But anyway, to get back on topic, my problem is I overhyped myself. I can't even blame it on the trailers this time. So, I'm going to say it, I was a bit disappointed with this film, but I don't think it's the fault of the film, if that makes any sense. And also, I did myself a huge disservice by, if you follow me on my Letterboxd, I watched Hereditary a couple days before Weapons. And if Weapons was supposed to be scary, after watching Hereditary, nothing is scary. Hereditary to this day is one of the scariest films I watched, so after watching that film, I was pretty much desensitized to horror for a couple of days, including Weapons. So I've seen a lot of people saying that this film was just super duper scary, and they even called out a couple scenes like the scissor scene. If you've seen this film, you know what I'm talking about. But, just scenes like that, where they said it was super duper scary, I didn't find that scene scary. I don't know, I didn't really find this film scary. Frankly, I found the third act to be hilarious, and I don't think it helped that before I saw this film, all of Twitter was saying this was the scariest film ever made. But anyway, let me get into the pros of this film. To start off, I really liked the way this film was shot. I remember there being a multitude of scenes where I was just very impressed by the camera work. I also found the acting to be surprisingly really good, and I wasn't expecting that. Judging when I saw the trailers, I saw there was some child actors, and I don't have the highest expectations for child actors, especially in horror movies. No offense to child actors, but half the time they're fine at best. But in this horror movie, I was pretty impressed. Also, I think this is just going to be a me thing, but I didn't like the voiceover in the beginning. But that's one of the only times in this movie that I didn't really like the child actor's performance. The main kid did great. By the way, coming up I have some spoilers I want to say. So anyway, the adults did a great job, but I think the highlight performance was by far Aunt Gladys. I just feel like her performance alone perfectly matched the tone of this horror movie, and I love seeing an actor do that successfully. I also think Josh Brolin's, Benedict Wong's, and Julia Gardner's performances were still really good. I'm just saying that Aunt Gladys was my personal favorite. Austin Abrams, who plays James, also had me laughing out loud so much. The director said that he was the only person from the original cast that he kept, and I can see why. And the final thing I liked was just the mystery itself. I had a great time trying to solve it in the theaters. I just thought it was so fun. But now, sadly, this leads into the things I didn't like. Although the mystery was super fun, and I just had a total blast trying to solve it, I don't know, I just didn't really like the answer as much. Does that make any sense? I was somewhat disappointed. I don't know why. And I think it's because, throughout the movie, I overhyped what the, answer was going to be. I don't know, I was just slightly disappointed by the answer. I just felt like they could have done so much more with such a great premise. It was just disappointing to be oh, it was a witch the whole time. It's kind of okay. I don't know about you guys, but my first thought when I saw the trailer was just witch. And it's kind of disappointing that that was the actual answer. I just think back to Barbarian and how that did such a great job subverting my expectations, but this film kind of plays into them a bit. I would say this film definitely feels way more safe than Barbarian, but I do still want to say it's still a fun time altogether. Like, if you and your friends go to the theater and try to solve the mystery, you guys are still going to have such a fun time watching it. Because I think, by the end of the day, that's what this film is trying to do. It's just supposed to be a fun time to have with your friends, and this film does succeed in that. It also tries not to be a by-the-numbers horror movie, and it succeeds. But now let's get back on track. I kind of got off topic to the things I didn't like. I really felt like this film needed a bit more suspense. Like, why do we have to find these kids right away? Obviously, you know, I wanted them to find the kids, but I felt like something like a clock or like a timer, like for when they had to find the kids, would really help improve this film. Does that make any sense? Because throughout this film, it didn't really feel super duper urgent. It just felt like, you know, we're going to find the kids when we find them. Also, by the way, in the beginning it said the kids never came back. That was just a complete lie. What? But at the end of the movie, it kind of states that, like, the longer you're in the trance, then, you know, the more zoned out you become, basically. Like, since the parents were in the trance longer, they're still getting fed soup, but the kids, some are talking now. And I feel like if that was mentioned earlier, that would have greatly improved the film, because it would have been like, what? If you're in this trance for longer, we have to find the kids right away. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Do I sound crazy? I don't know. I just thought there needed to be a bit more suspense in the film. Also, Julia Garner's character gets her haircut and nothing happens to her. Like, am I missing something? And why did Benedict Wong's character and his husband prepare so many hot dogs? These are the answers I need, and it's not the answers the movie gives me. I need these answers! Why did they prepare so many hot dogs? Sorry, I'll get back on topic. I also feel like this film kind of explains the central mystery way too much. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I just felt like things were spelled out way too much by the end. The only thing that wasn't really explained was why they cut Julia Garner's hair, and why they were eating so many hot dogs. So in conclusion, I'll give this film a 6 out of 10. It's still a pretty good time in the theaters, and you'll have fun. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe. And goodbye. Also, quick side note, but if someone came into my house and asked to drink a bowl of water, I would immediately assume they were insane. They were trying to kill me.